Welcome to the Snobs podcast.
Welcome to the Snobs podcast, everybody. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by producer Paul. Well, not always. Not always, because a couple of weeks ago, I had another interview in the thing, and I wasn't feeling well, so I just kind of shoved that one out. And next week, and this is bad timing because I haven't had a chance to talk to Paul about this yet. And he's going to think he's in trouble, and he's not. Next week, I'm giving you the week off.
Okay.
I'm having Mary on, and I'm giving her a special episode.
Heck yeah. I can't be mad about that. It's going to
be like that sort of like episode. So you get the week off, but then afterwards, it's our Christmas special.
Heck yeah.
And get your top 10s ready because we have to pre-record our New Year's top 10 list.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun with that one. It's gonna be a good time. Like, horror movies, animated. We'll go over it all. We'll figure it out.
I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Favorite sexual device?
Oh God.
From 2024 only.
Oh. Huh.
You know what bums me out? is that sexual contraptions have evolved to such a futuristic state, yet no flying cars. Yet we're closer to World War III than jetpacks.
I don't think you can trust with jetpacks.
Listen, I'll take that Rocketeer jet. I think it was awesome.
I'll take a flying car. I could do like DeLorean flying car. I'd be fine with that. It'd be fun as hell.
What would be your ideal flying car? Don't say DeLorean. I know that's not your ideal flying car.
I'd probably want a big one just so I could bring all my friends. So I'd probably say like a Tahoe XL or something stupid big like that could fly. So you could fit everyone. Ooh, or you know what? An old school Volkswagen bus. There you go. Yeah.
That would be an interesting one.
You're
just like kind of hanging off the side of the road where the roads, the air roads are. And you're just like, hey man, we're just hanging out, looking at the sights.
Yeah.
In the air. There's Notre Dame, dude. I love it. I like that. I don't know what I would want to feel the most. Ooh, do I want the heaviest car? It may have a good roll cage in it, but do I want the heaviest car? Speaking of defying gravity.
We're covering that today.
Yes, we are. Dude, we're gonna have a very different outlook on that.
Yes, we will.
I made that last because I can go in depth. I don't know why I fell so in love with this movie. I did. I want to go see it again. I like musicals, and I like musicals especially when they have such a steeped, rich history in Broadway because I love theater.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all the other crap outside of this, I don't care. I knew nothing about that movie going in. I like The Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, I didn't even know that there was going to be a part 2.
Yeah.
So I got to the end, and I'm like, oh, there's going to be more.
Yeah.
I love it. Next year I get more. And Paul's like, I don't want to watch that. But we will
have to watch it. But anyway, you're right.
We'll save it for our review because I definitely want to go in depth there. We were, I mean, it's not really a biopic, but we were kind of like, I came up with this idea months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is like July. I came up with this biopic idea, and I was like, and every time I was like, I want to schedule for this week because I really want to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something came up, like we had Halloween, or we had to do this, or some sort of theme, or some sort of guest, or whatever, and I just officially scheduled it. I was like, after Thanksgiving, that's what we're gonna hit in December. I get to finally talk about it, and now I'm not that excited to talk about it.
That's the worst. That is the absolute worst.
You know what it is? I thought about it for a while, and I'm right. And once you realize you're right, you know this. Once you realize you're right, you're just kind of like, I don't need to have the argument anymore. Like I don't. And so what am I right about?
Musicals you shouldn't like more than Sound of Music, obviously.
Strap in because this is going to be a wild ride. This will be a clipboard. No, first of all, Wicked is 1,000 times better.
Fuck no.
Music. Nothing happens in the Sound of Music.
Nothing happened in Wicked. It was
lots of things happen in Wicked.
Broadway. It was a shitty Broadway play. It was so bad. And the singing wasn't even half as good.
Play. I didn't see.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. People review. Oh,
anyway. Why? Why do I don't have to review the Broadway?
I don't know because
I'm movie only.
It's just the caliber of music. Like, it's just like Phantom of the Opera. You can say the movie was good, but you need to see the Broadway version of it. It's worlds better. So a lot of people that have seen it on Broadway that are like, oh no, this movie is amazing. The fuck are you talking about? This is.
I cannot.
I expected more.
I cannot say what the play was like because I didn't see the play. So right there, it might not be as good as the play. I don't know. I'm completely refraining from that one. I have heard the Broadway soundtrack. Very good. I mean, and the original Broadway with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. And so, like, it's a great album. A great soundtrack to a Broadway play. I love it. The movie's better. Music in the movie's better. I've listened to the music twice. I listened to it once right before I went to go see the movie. Saw the movie. Then I listened to Kendrick's new album. Then I listened to it again today to prepare for tonight. And I got to tell you, I think it's better than just soundtrack wise. And that's not to say anybody's bad or anything, but like this one feels, you know how you have the grace of 20 years to evolve something?
Yeah.
That's what makes it better. It's had 20 years to evolve the songs out, the story out, things like that. Because I went in depth. I deep dove on this one. And supposedly in the play, like I said, I didn't see it, so I can't judge it. But supposedly in the play, like the animal storyline isn't as prevalent. So like a lot of people were glad they beefed that up. And they added some more things, I guess, that the play just didn't have at the time. Think about or whatever it was, and I kind of dug that. I want to see where this goes. I did appreciate. Why are we still talking about Wicked? I was Is this my fault? Did you start this? Or did I start? We have to play it back. It's 8 minutes in, and I've talked about Wicked 3 times.
I'm sorry.
You didn't have to bring up Sound of Music, though. You can bring up literally any. Well, we might be doing a musical episode. Well, we might do a musicals episode. We tried the musical episode. It ain't happening. Need a better caliber and musician to come in. So Paul doesn't want to sing.
No, you don't want to hear me sing. No one does.
I'm going to hire somebody to play Paul while he sings. Who are you talking to? And you break out in the song.
I'll just turn around in my chair and you just have a double come in and they're singing to the wall. Like clearly taller than me and everything else. It's Paul.
It's Danny Trejo playing Paul in a musical episode, just singing as only Danny Trejo can. I love it. Jeez, I don't want to talk about that movie until the end. All right. Yep. Let's pick up a biopics, though, because what got me thinking about biopics is that, to me, it feels like biography movies today are way less interesting than they used to. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if it's the subjects that we're getting, or we're just kind of like,
I feel like it's for me, it's the frequency of how many they make. That's the problem is, I feel like if studios can't figure out what they want to remake again, they're just like, oh, we'll just do a biopic about hot fries, or all of a sudden we're going to do one, about the BlackBerry. They just keep throwing out all these random ones. And I feel like there's not enough thought that goes into them anymore, because I think that's like their scapegoat. They're like, oh, we can just do a biopic about this. People will be okay about it. At least it's getting something out there.
You see, now let me ask you, I love that take, but before you finish, I want to ask you this. Do you think it's the subjects that are less interesting, or do you think it's the filmmaking behind that's less interesting?
You almost blame the storyteller, because if it's a biopic, it's not held to the same factional information as a documentary. So I feel you can storytell it and spice it up as much as you want, because it's not a documentary. It's not supposed to be fact. So I kind of blame, I guess, whoever the writer is for it, I guess, essentially.
I like that. Well, I mean, you also, by the time you get to a biopic, though, a lot of people like put their notes in, producers, director, everybody. So like I do, by the time you see it on screen, so many people have had their hands in it, because usually it's a passion project for the producer. And then they're going to link up with the director who has a passion project for it, and, to do this or tell this story. And those are the ones where I really feel like it works. Like if you find somebody who really looks up to the person, although I say biopics are bullshit because everybody's a goddamn hero in a biopic. And as we know, celebrities are vile.
Yeah.
So, and politicians and all of them. So every time we follow somebody, I'm like, what did you do? I'm waiting for this. It's like Blindside again. It's like, oh, this is a really nice story. It was really nice what the family did for him. Oh, he was down on his luck. And then you turn out years later and it's just like, what did you do? Like every time I see a new biopic, I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? Like if it's about some, like if it's like an indie film about some and not putting down in any way, but like let's say it's a waitress who really maybe inspired a union or something or whatever. I'm just making something up as I go, but that's an interesting tale, right? Small, it's to the story. I always like those little ones. Like they did one, I think it was called Rustin with Coleman Domingo. He played Rustin, who's a black civil rights advocate and one of the heads of the Million Man March. I thought that was so well done because they kept it to really just the acting. That makes sense. Like it didn't get too big. A lot of these get too big, or if it's a war movie or this, like Napoleon, I still haven't seen it, and I have no interest. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I mean, it was okay. I feel like they harp too much on the relationship aspect than the battles. Like I wanted to see Napoleon expecting extravagant battles and seeing everything Napoleon really did do. I don't give a shit if he was stupid in love with some woman. You know what I mean? Like it's not why I went to see it. I didn't go to see Napoleon in love. I went to see Napoleon just.
I think I agree. I definitely agree. I think that, like, to me, I think that's one of the weird things about biopics now. For me, when I look at them, and you hit the nail on the head with that one. It's really that, like, we're watching something unfold from a perspective that's like, okay, I get it speaks to a certain, like, oh, we get to see that he's human,
right?
I don't need that. Like you just said, I don't need to see Napoleon. I need to see the general, the dictator. Why did he take over? Who was he? You have an actor in there who can command these performances, but I feel like we've been dumbing down a lot of biopics too. Well, they had mental health issues, or they were, a homosexual, or this, and that's fine. I don't mind that being the tale, but that's not the story,
right?
There's no intrigue to it. You're just saying this person was like us, and it's like it's a biopic.
Right.
I don't want to watch a biopic about Jesus, and then at the end of it, it's just like he runs away from the Nazis behind, a tombstone. Like it's something as stupid as that.
Yeah.
You
don't want to see him ascend into heaven singing Defying Gravity or something like that either.
I do want to see that.
No, you don't.
See that. Fuck that. I want to see the Wicked Witch come and save him and bring him, and he's like, I'm gonna go north, just so you guys know. I'm going on be with my dad, but thank you, witch. I mean, woman, because she was a woman, but they called her the witch, Wicked Witch. It's not nice. It's not nice.
I think it would have been worse if they had called her the Green Witch. Like, I feel like that's very specifically against her. I think Wicked Witch is fine.
Yeah, it's hard to understand why everybody hated her being because she was green. What are we doing? Stop.
You brought it this time, not me.
This is not the Wicked show. Fuck it, that's the Wicked show now. All right, biopics for fun. Let's talk about the biopic of Elphaba.
Jesus.
No, but go.
Yeah, we'll talk about The Wiz. No.
I love that movie. It's such a great movie. You're right. But I thought Wicked was great too. I love The Wizard of Oz too. I love it.
Oh, I love the Great Oz too. I love Franco's Wizard of Oz too.
Because
it was better than this one. Just saying.
Listen.
World's best.
Listen. What?
Yes.
I can't do this with you. We can't talk Wicked yet.
I watched that after I saw that shit in theater, just so I could be like, okay, the story isn't complete dog shit. And it was done semi okay. And even though Franco's wasn't good, it was still better. But
I'm going back to biopics.
Yes, sir.
I will say this about I'm not getting into all that, but like I want to make a point, like the Sound of Music, but like the Apprentice, the Donald Trump biopic. This isn't from a political standpoint. I watched that and like I gave a review, so people could go see that. But like I was like, this isn't an interesting movie. I was like, honestly, it feels like they're just attacking. Like I feel like Sebastian Stan was like, all right, I'm really gonna go for this. He wants his Oscar, but everybody else, it felt like it was like, all right, let's just try and rip this dude apart. And for me, I was like, I don't come to the movies to see people rip apart. I want to watch a movie. And you're telling me this is the most interesting part about this man?
Right.
I can tell you it's not.
Right.
It's like, thanks for keeping us in the 80s for a little while, for a tale of like everything I've ever heard about him and underwhelming storylines. So if we can't even make a good biopic about possibly, and I use this word lightly, not really, one of the most controversial figures in history ever.
Yeah.
And you showed me my dog Skip. Like you showed me who he was like this little puppy dog. And it's like, I want a real, like, give me something like when I watch Braveheart, it's a fucking biopic. You know what I mean? I'm trying to curse less, but I really needed to emphasize that one.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to because Jack cursed the other day.
Oh.
So like, I was like, that's my fault. Because like I do like I let him go and stuff. I was like, I talked to him. I was like, listen, if I try, will you try? You know, that's what. And he's been really good. I'm trying. Like I'll curse. And I'm like and then I'll go back and say like another one. Like I'll scream the F word and then I'll just be like Fraggle Rock. It's like it doesn't matter. You already said it.
They're going on tour this next year, just so you guys know.
Are they really?
Ooh. Yeah, they're doing live shows. I want to go. Sorry. Anyway,
no,
I was freaking out. I was super excited. No, I saw it. You know, I grew up with Fraggle Rock before Sesame Street, so I thought that they're doing live I'm like, man, I'm buying tickets. Like, I think it's right before Fear Fest. It's like May 1st in North Carolina and Greensboro at least. And I was like, yeah, I'm going. I have to go.
That's
Fraggle
awesome.
Rock. Yeah.
Fraggle Rock. I love Fraggle Rock. Who's your favorite Fraggle Rock? I don't remember anybody. I'll tell you that right now. And it's okay if you say you don't remember anybody either.
I can't. It's been so long.
All right. Let's think of, like, real quick. We'll get to our top 5 biopics in a minute. But let's think about this for a second. How many TV shows from like your childhood that maybe were made before your childhood, but reruns or something? Can you name all of the characters on? Do you think, like, just a guesstimate?
All the characters, possibly one, and that's me just being generous because I was just thinking instantly. I was like Lamb Chop because it's just Lamb Chop. I'm like, no, there are other people. Can't name them.
There was the horse, and that there was Sherry. You know, she ran Lamb. She was Lamb Chop.
Yeah. I don't think maybe Doug. Doug is probably the only one because there's Doug, Skeeter, Patty Mayonnaise, Rex, and what was his dog's name?
Pickles? Pickle?
Yeah. There you go.
Who can I name? Like, I don't know who I can name. I mean, the Ghostbusters I can name, the Ninja Turtles I can name. I feel like the big ones, but like He-Man, no. There's too many goddamn characters. I can't like Skunk Face, fucking Suction Cup Hands, Beast. I remember him. Blade. I remember some of them. Gorgeous ass Tila from the movie. Yeah, that's about it. I don't remember anybody else. No, yeah, I think about cartoons and I'm like, there was a certain point where I hit and I'm like, if you name a show, I'm not gonna name one. And even if I watched it, Doug, I would not have been able to name anybody outside of Doug, Skeeter, Patty.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky I got the dog. If that's the right name. I don't know if that's
I think it is. It sounds right.
I couldn't name everybody on Rugrats. That was too many.
Yeah.
I can't even name all 5. What are they? I almost called them Ninja Rangers. Power Rangers. Like
I couldn't name them.
I remember Amy Jo Johnson. That's the only one I remember. It's not even a count. Oh no, I remember Tommy. The Green Dragon, the Green Ranger, and he was cool. I mean, yeah, whatever. I was young. I watched like the first season of that, and then I like discovered Girls, and I was like, I think she might help.
Absolutely, she did. Hell yeah.
Oh God, I don't want to do that. That's messed up. I'm not putting that on that poor girl. Poor woman. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I'm being respectful.
Now I got a question for you since we're talking about biopics.
Uh-oh.
If you could get a biopic that was going to be, let's say, a 9 out of 10, like automatically was going to be a 9 out of 10 of anybody or anything you'd like to see done, what would you want that biopic to be on?
Not Steven Spielberg. The Fabelmans was a beautiful movie. And it was cool to see. Like, and he's the first one that came to mind because I would think like a director.
Okay.
But honestly, so what famous figurehead?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
In history, anytime in history.
Yeah.
I will say this before, because I had mentioned Jesus before. If you want, in my opinion, and I do love Jesus of Nazareth. I love Last Temptation of Christ, King of Kings. All those movies are really beautiful. I love the old biopic epics. Well, one of them is on your list. But if I had to choose the best Jesus biopic, Book of Clarence. I want everybody to know that. I think that's the best one. That was so good. And I wanted to put that out there because I had mentioned the Jesus biopic. There's I don't even know his name. I think it's Alexander. I'm not sure, but there's a czar, and there's a good movie about it. I can't remember the name of it. I watched it in high school, and it was about his life right before I think it was the Bolsheviks took over.
Okay.
Russia, and the czars had to go on the run and whatnot. And I remember he had a son who had anemia. That would be an interesting tale to see. Not tale, but because it's a real story. But like that would be an interesting story to see up to date. Like I don't want Napoleon. You know what I want?
Yeah.
I would love to see a biopic on Marcus Aurelius too.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
He was in Gladiator, but like a pick, like where he was young and what he was like, and building stoicism and being the emperor and all the wars he had to fight just to push back the Germans, the barbarians at the time. But that would be an interesting biopic. There's so many. There's so many that we haven't done.
Right, too many.
Aristotle. Oh, I know this isn't a biopic because he wasn't real, but did you see Ralph Fiennes as in that new? It's the Odyssey. He plays Jason.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the true story of the Odyssey. Like, not the true story, because we have no freaking idea what the true story is. We just have Homer's writing. It's supposed to be that. It's a true story, bro. But I always liked the tale of Jason. I like Jason and the Argonauts back in the day. I was just thinking of Harryhausen now, but I always liked the story of the Iliad and the Odyssey. I love "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," which is
oh my god, yeah,
direct copy from the story. So I'm excited for that. And I know that's not a biopic, but he can be a biopic in my heart.
Yep, there you go.
I got one for you, whether it's made or not. What U.S. president would you most want to see a biopic about?
Ooh, it's going to sound strange. It's probably going to be Washington, just because I want to know, if they depicted it right, like you're the first president, like you're laying down kind of the law on this new country, like that. I think that'd be interesting, being like seeing how much politics actually start evolving. Like, oh shit, this person's being sneaky to get this done, and I feel like that'd be at least an interesting biopic. Washington.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good shows and movies you can watch that kind of center around that. There's a Washington movie from the 80s that you might like. That was well done. But I'll find a name for you. I don't remember what it was called. It might even be called Washington. I don't remember though. My dad had it on tape, so I watched it. And I learned about George. I was like, oh, this is George Washington. He was a friendly fellow who supposedly chopped down a tree and never told a lie. So I was like, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I learned about the chopping down on the tree thing from Looney Tunes.
Heck yeah.
As any child my age now would have done the same. Learn all your history from Looney Tunes. And when I learned that, I asked if that was true, and they said said that's why he became the president. He could never tell a lie. He was an honest person. They failed to mention that he owned many slaves and did not free them.
Right.
No. I like to point it out, but I like to point it out for awkwardness sake.
Absolutely.
Because if we're gonna make a real biopic, let's all tell it from the perspective.
Oh.
let's see who George Washington was then. Oh, he was never here. The war going.
Right.
Then he became president. Never did get on that tree. But I thought for the longest time when I was in the second grade, don't mean to cut you off. I thought for the longest time in the second grade that if you wanted to become president, you had to cut down a tree. It was like it was this feat of strength.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's a good philosophy. They should do
honestly, that should be added. Do you think anybody? I'm not even gonna lie. I think the person who would come close is probably Obama.
Oh, I was gonna say Bush. His drunk ass just
get the fuck out.
Take him a minute, but he just
hit his face on a table by choking on a pretzel.
Right. So I think you can chop down a tree. Give that man some Jack Daniels.
There's no living president. Like maybe Obama can, but he's up there now. But like he was always in pretty good shape. Michelle Obama, she was strong. She had big arms. It was a very lovely thing. I don't know who. No, that should be a feat of strength. You should have to cut down a tree. Okay, you got voted, right? You got voted in. But if you can't cut down this tree in how long? What size tree are we talking about? Like a redwood?
Let's say a good, like a 30-year-old tree. Like it's got some rings on that motherfucker. Like it's got to be.
It has to be older than. It's got to be older than 30.
Well, if you can't run until you're 32, I think 32 is fair.
No, you don't want a tree the same size.
Okay.
A 30-year-old tree is easy. You want like an American tree. You want a tree that's seen some shit.
So about how old America is at the time, whenever they run for president. So
we should pick the oldest tree in the country. And I bet you nobody will chop it down.
No one can.
Oh no. Donald Trump will bulldoze the shit out of it.
They'll just pay some logging company to come.
I mean,
I saw it down a tree. Amazing.
Oh my god. Could you imagine if like a Jedi showed up?
All of a sudden lightsabers are being made. Yep.
Oh, I love it.
That would be awesome. But a biopic I need made that I've been waiting to have made that I hope his son ends up making if you're listening somehow is Jim Henson. I would absolutely love a Jim Henson biopic that was done right, paid him tribute like he should, because I don't know a lot about him before the Muppets, or him starting up. I everything I've read is he's a great guy from, Muppets on, but I really don't know a lot about his childhood or what got him into puppets and
he was
Muppets.
lonely. He was a lonely man. He was
That's
a lonely boy. I bet you had like a ton of friends, and he just based all the puppets on his friends. He's just a creative dude of it.
That's a nice way to see. I assume it's the opposite. I assume he was such a good-hearted person because he had a shit life growing up. He didn't want anyone else to have it. I went dark.
I don't think he did.
That's fine if he didn't. He
was in DC for a while in the 40s. Okay. He remembered a rival of the family's first television as the biggest event of his adolescence, being heavily influenced by radio ventriloquist Edgar Bergen. That's where it comes from. So that's where it all started. Yeah, I would love a biopic. Well, yeah, I mean, I would love him. They did a biopic about what's his name, Mr. Rogers. It was okay.
Yeah.
I liked the documentary better than I liked the movie.
Yes.
It could be kind of cool because there was a lot of interesting little things that had to go into getting it made. But if you really did it right and you did it and you got a visionary director, like even me in my head, I am playing with it in my head. And so if you got really somebody with talent to do this, you can make a cool TV show about the making of Reading Rainbow.
Oh.
And just how he wanted to get it done and what it meant to him, but they tell the tale through books. Like it's him, but in each one, it's kind of like, I don't know. I had an idea in my head.
I like it. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I was while I was waiting for you, I watched 2 shows, and I'm going to tell you one, even though you hate the theater. Clearly,
get the fuck out of here.
It's a show called The Goes Wrong Show.
Goes Wrong Show.
It's every week. It's in England somewhere, and every week it's this troupe, and they have a television studio, have audience come in, and they do a different play, set in a different time, whatever. They write like this little play, and everything goes wrong in it, and that's all I'm going to give you. It's your face will hurt with laughter.
Okay.
Especially working and and I know this is the case, but I'm watching it thinking about time I worked in theater and stuff like that, all these different theaters, and just all the different experiences are all hitting me up. So if it's anything like me, you're going to love the shit out of it.
Hell yeah.
It's so good. And I was watching the latest episode of Yellowstone before you came down, and
same. Woo!
What
part are you emotional? Oh, we're caught up.
Oh, I have 20 minutes left.
Okay.
We just saw Kobe. We just saw them leave with Kobe.
Yeah.
And when I tell you what, I will tell you what. If there's one thing you need, anybody who maybe not in the Yellowstone, or if you are, you know this as soon as I say it, the minute any emotion is shown by any character other than anger or evilness or whatever, like any sinister, if it's not Beth and Rip, because they'll never kill them all.
Thank God.
But if any and the world had to fall in love with Rip for that to be safe, and they had to fall in love with the reason Rip's in love with Beth. So you were not going to let them go anywhere.
Yes.
So with all of that being said, the second somebody tells somebody else they love them, bye. You're done.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this days later, because it's already a day after it came out, and you're upset because I ruined it for you, I don't care.
No. I'm just glad it wasn't Teeter. I hate to say that. I thought it was going to be Teeter, because the second she was like, "I love you too," though, I was like, "God, like you said, like I'm sorry, gosh darn it,
snake or something happened." It was ruined for me because I was up all night last night. I wasn't feeling well, and so I went to the bathroom at one point, and yes, at night I sit down to pee because I can't see straight. So I have to do something.
So I just pee in the shower.
It's on the other side. But like, it gives me time to sit down, take a piss. Maybe something else will happen, and by that I mean something not dirty. Well, it is dirty, but it's not dirty the way you might be thinking it's dirty. It's a different kind of dirty. I don't want to talk about the dirtiness of that. What I want to say is, I sat down. I wanted to play on my phone.
That's fair.
And yes, I wipe it down afterwards. We have wipes.
Heck yeah. Those dude wipes are so nice. I get the menthol ones. They feel nice on my bum.
Oh yeah, I've had those before. They used to have those at when I worked at the data center. Like everybody.
That's
had
cool.
Well, no. They didn't have them for us. Let me reiterate. Everyone who worked there had their own.
Smart.
And what drove me nuts was like they had this big bathroom that we use, but we had the whole floor. Well, no, there was like one other small company in like the suite next to us that didn't take up barely any room, and they had their own bathroom. So we got the whole like big, building floor bathroom. Man, if there weren't wipes in every one of those fucking things because people kept forgetting, I'm like, come on, man.
Heck yeah.
I was like, these can't
try
be
different wipes. Ooh, pumpkin. Mm.
Oh, I don't know. Pumpkin.
I haven't tried the pumpkin spice. I know they got that flavor though, or scent. Sorry, not flavor.
Oh my god, you want your ass to smell, dude? Mary bought like a soap that's gingerbread, and it's like it's very pungent when you first it's very pungent. But like I don't get gingerbread from it. I get sawdust. So it doesn't bother me. Like I don't mind the smell of sawdust, but yeah, it's pungent. It's a lot. Like my kid will come out and just like, just wash your hands because he's trying to get away with it. Yes, I'm like, let me smell him. I can smell him from a mile away now. And he's like, yeah. And he goes back in like little wire.
Man, I can't smell sawdust anymore. That's my familiar scent that will make me tear up almost every time because the circus smelled like straight sawdust all the time. Right. So that just takes me back every time. Like if we ever visiting a farm or anything like that, I'm like, okay, this is fine.
Might have to send you some of that soap. That way you can just be in the shower, just like the circus.
I'll just be singing The Greatest Showman.
This is the greatest show.
That's 100%. That's me in the shower anyway. But yeah, that's the sad part.
I don't know what man hasn't had a good cry in the shower. And any man who says I haven't is either too young and nothing happened to them, or they're lying, or they're incels and they're just angry, so they can't cry, so they cause havoc. Like I'll just take the cry in the shower, man. I'll throw the music on. I'll let it hit.
At least twice a week. Yeah. Just let it rip. Just flood works.
You just gotta pull that cord, man. Just let go.
Oh. I do.
All right. Well, now we talk about everything and crying. Let's talk about our top 5 biopics.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one. So we're gonna roll through. So number 5 on both our lists, I went with Miracle, about the 1980 U.S. men's hockey team who went on to beat Russia, and you went with Lawrence of Arabia, which is an amazing choice. Can you tell us a little bit what you like about that movie?
It's probably one of the first militaristic movies my dad introduced to me, and I just fell in love with it. We watched that, then shortly thereafter watched Ben-Hur. And I fell in love with it. The acting and the cinematography, it's fun just how kind of grainy it is, because it's an older movie. It's a long movie, but, it's very interesting because growing up as a kid, I didn't think Lawrence of Arabia was a real thing. I thought it was just a fictitious story because they did it so well. And it goes back to, like you're saying, when biopics, I think, were done right, because I thought it was so good. There's no way this is about a real person. I thought it was completely made up, and not. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I love Lawrence of Arabia. It's not one of my top 5, but a pinnacle of filmmaking. And Miracle for me, it's just one of those moments in history that just feels good. And this movie, I think, really encapsulated that really well. It's done by Disney. Disney does really good, inspiring sports movies. Yes, and this is one of them. And but the nice part about this was they did this movie, and it is inspiring, it's all that, but it is a really inspiring, true moment, at least. So it's like, it's cool that I'm watching something, and that's going to be a theme on my list, I think. Like special things in time with the biopics, but let's go to number 4. I went with Malcolm X, one of my all-time favorites. I love this movie for good reason. It's a great biopic. Everybody check it out. And you chose an equally, I think, great movie, Catch Me If You Can. What do you think? What about that one sticks out to you?
So I just enjoyed that movie. Once again, it was one of those movies. I thought it was a completely fictitious story. Then I found out that was a real person, and I was like, oh, that's even cooler, and you look into him and you realize, they kind of dumbed down all the, cons he actually pulled off. They talk about the big ones in the movie, but he did a lot of smaller ones as well. And it's like, oh, wow. Like, it's crazy that someone's mind can think that way. Because, I'm not trying to say I try to think like a thief, but I try to think ahead of things that could happen. And my mind doesn't work that way of doing fake checks or this, that, and other. And it's just amazing to me how someone can have, 20 ideas and make stupid amounts of money before the government even catches them.
I would just want one good idea to make money.
Right.
Don't catch me because I'll do it legally. I just want one good idea that will catch and I'll make some money. I'm not even saying I want all the money.
We'll just make your biopic called "Let Me If You Can."
Oh my God! Let me have
the
some
money.
Just please let me have some money if you can. I'll work for it.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm sad because I don't have any, and everything's going up except gas. Busting balls. But that one was said to me earlier, and I had to just add it. Wasn't even for anybody's effect.
Like it.
Number 3 for me is Walk the Line.
Heck yeah.
Great fucking movie. Great freaking movie. God. I'm trying not to so bad. I'm trying not to curse so bad. I'm not doing well. And The King's Speech, both great movies in my opinion. I love Walk the Line. It's just the music sticks out to me. I think it's great performances. And it's just one that I can revisit over and over again. But The King's Speech, what stuck out to you with that one?
I feel like a lot of times I've always held anything in England at like a higher regard. Like everyone's all proper, like almost perfection, right? Because that's all. A lot of Hollywood almost makes you think with a lot of situations with them. So with King's Speech, is very eye-opening, being like, oh, someone that's supposed to be king has, somewhat, I'm not going to say a problem. We'll say that, a different special, I don't know, disability because he can't speak correctly and just having to go through that.
A certain type of disability in his speech for sure with the stutter and such. Yeah, it was a great movie.
I loved it. And this is one where I think they humanized him in a great way. They made it very entertaining and very fun and paid respect to him. And I think that's how, I don't know. I just wish they did it more like that if they were going to show more of a human aspect of someone having flaws and not just being like, flaws, cool. Like they did it right.
Fair. No, they did, overcoming them and becoming a great king. So I love that. Well done. I like that pick. Our number 2s, I went with Ed Wood. I love this movie so much. It's a great filmmaking movie. Johnny Depp does great in it. Tim Burton's style in it is fantastic. If you haven't had a chance, check it out. Check it out. It's weird.
It's on my list.
Oh, you've never seen it? It's cool for horror. It's very odd.
Okay.
I think you'll really dig it.
I trust you.
Open one night. I would, if you ever want to watch that, a great double feature with that is watch Plan 9 right afterwards.
Okay.
Because it's about the making of Plan 9. So
okay,
it's a well done movie. And Plan 9 from Outer Space, for anybody who's watching and listening, was widely considered Edward Jr.'s movie, widely considered one of the worst movies of all time. I love it. But definitely check this out. But I haven't seen this. The one I haven't seen on this list, and that is Love and Mercy. And I guess it's about the Beach Boys.
God. Yeah, it's specifically mostly pertains more to Brian Wilson. Okay. I will say this has sentimental value to me because my uncle Jim was a huge Beach Boys fan, and my mom has always been Beatles. And so I told my uncle, I was like, I've always thought Beatles put them to shame, blah, blah. And he was like, well, and he tried explaining it. Well, this movie came out coincidentally while I was at the lake house. So I told my uncle, since I was big on movies, I was like, hey, let's go see this together and we'll see what I think of the Beach Boys after. And this just made me fall in love with their whole story. Brian Wilson. I think John Cusack does a phenomenal job with them. Paul Dano. It made me fall in love with Paul Dano. The music and how their minds work, talking about his mental health and their schemy manager. It's very entertaining. This is one I can watch at least twice a year and still love it.
Nice. I definitely will check it out. I wanted to hear what you had to say before I watched it, but yeah, I love the Beach Boys. I think they have great music. So I wouldn't mind, and they have such a heartbreaking story. But yeah, it's so well done. So I can't wait to check this out. And I love John Cusack.
Oh, yes.
Good pick, man. Our number ones.
Yeah.
Cinderella Man. This is my all-time favorite biopic. I love Cinderella Man. I think it's the best boxing movie. And I know I'm saying that. You got Rocky and everything, but I really do. I think this is the best boxing movie. And it's just a great movie in general. So go check it out if you haven't. But you chose Kubrick on Kubrick. Why did you choose that one?
Because I'm an idiot. I didn't do the correct parameters. Because after we talked about parameters, you were, like I said, you were correct. I was like, wait, a documentary is actual fact, through and through, as opposed to a biopic. So I did choose this before I had my correct parameters. With the parameters, I did go with American Sniper.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows. But as for Kubrick, I love Kubrick. I get, he was a hard director to work with. He was over the top. He was anal. He was insane because he had that passion and that outlook. And that's what I love. That's what,
he was a
talking about
genius.
Kubrick. Oh my God. He's just, and everything meant something to him. And I respect that, and I can imagine being an actor, how annoying that has to be. Cause I know, even on the one film set I got to work on, after doing a couple of takes, even the director, I could see him being like, all right, I think we got it at least one of those times. Let's move on. And that was just a handful of times. He'd do like 100 shoots of the same scene and still be like, it's not right. And I can imagine
just that, like when it came to Shelley Duvall, a lot of it was like he needed her to be so worn out and manic. He needed that. And I'm not saying it was right. I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying it wasn't even just about this one aspect of getting it right. It was also like, physically torturing her, so she'll be tortured for the movie. And again, not defending it, but he was that type of haunted genius. Another one, just two things, just to say real quick. One, I don't want to do this. You should go and look up the story behind American Sniper, like the real story. And then the second one is check out RKO 281. It's about It's about Orson Welles making Citizen Kane.
Okay.
And how the entire movie was a spite movie.
Really?
Against the most powerful person in the country. It didn't work out for him. But it's worth watching. Liev Schreiber plays him in the movie. And I think it's John Malkovich plays Henry Mankiewicz, who wrote it. And so it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't had a chance to see it and you do like that, like the filmmaking side of that, go check that one out. I think you would too. I can give you a ton of those. Don't worry about that.
Heck yeah.
Hollywood loves to stroke itself, and I know them all.
Hell yeah.
All right, but that's our picks. That's our picks for these lovely biopics. Go check them out and let us know what you think. But let's get to our first review, and this one should be quick. Dear Santa, which is a movie starring Jack Black as Satan, who a little boy named Liam writes a letter to Santa to ask for something very special, only to have, because he has dyslexia, and I don't know how I feel about this. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not laughing at that. It's just like, come on. He has dyslexia and he writes Satan instead of Santa. So Satan shows up and he grants him 3 wishes, but he's getting his soul at the end of it. But this is like a good kid. There could be spoilers. I don't know if I want to spoil it for people.
Okay. I don't have to.
I mean, I guess we could. Who gives a shit? But nobody's going to see it. I walked away from this movie not liking it in the first act.
Oh.
Kind of liking it in the second act. And by the third one, they actually made me cry.
Heck yeah.
But listen, I'm not defending this as a great Christmas movie or the next pinnacle movie. Would I watch it again? I probably won't, because like this would be one that I'd watch if it showed up on TV, and it's not going to. It's going to remain in streaming. So I'll probably never watch it again. With that being said, if you guys are looking for something different, automatically any movie gets a point from me, a solid point, if it makes me feel like an emotion come out. Like if I get angry and I get up, or I cry, or I'm like happy and laughing or whatever, you get a solid automatic point for that. You pulled out an emotion. And if it's from acting, even stronger. The ratings for this movie for both of us were 3s.
Yes.
Now I give it a favorable rating because I was going to give it a 2, and then I got to where it drew out the crying from me. And some of the best acting, And I will tell you, this kid, the entire time, he's fine. He's a good kid the whole time. I liked him the whole time. But when I didn't see like a spark of genius acting until the end, and I don't want to give this away because it's as equally part sweet as it is odd. And you never see it coming because you don't find out it happened until like 20 minutes left in the movie. So it's not a well written. It has heart though, and it is a Christmas movie. And I am very lenient on Christmas movies when it comes to story because magic does everything in them, and I have to let it go. I realize I'm long-winded here, but what I will say is that kid Liam delivered such a deep, guttural cry at one point, and for a great reason. It was the best reaction I had seen in a long time in acting on the big screen, unlike watching a movie. And it hit me right in the chest, and I was like, oh my God, now I'm crying because like this is insane. And Jack Black was funny. Jack Black has some good moments in this. But overall, I would just say, like, you know, if you feel like you might be into it, check it out. Now, Paul.
Yes, sir.
I know you loved it, and we gave it the same rating. You're going to have a little more favorable. Like, your 3 leans more towards a 5. Mine leans more towards a 1.
You know, and the kids movie, you know, I kind of thought I knew what to expect, and it threw me off because it kind of broke the grain because it kind of was its own thing, Christmas themed ish, but they really did it differently. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it led me through a lot of different emotions. You know, I was laughing a little bit and kind of annoyed with certain aspects of Satan. And that third act, like you said, that ending just threw me through a loop. And yeah, we were all sobbing. Like it was a mess because you didn't expect it to go down the way it went down. When it did, it was like, oh, holy shit. And then they did it right because immediately. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was interrupting you. I apologize. I was just going to interject in that one part, though, where you do get emotional. It ends abruptly. Yeah. Like, it almost ends instantaneously, and you're like, we're just not going to explain this? And then that's it. So I think that's why, for me, it kind of like, you got the emotion, and then it was like, come on, man. Like, I need a little more. You just made me okay with what happened.
Okay.
And now you brought it back, and now great. But you're not going to explain it?
And I think they left it kind of open for number 2, which I'm kind of hopeful for. So, you know, I've told a lot of my friends that have kids, I'm like, hey, look, if you don't have, you know, I understand everyone's going through different things financially. You can't take your families to go see Red One. I was like, this is one you'll absolutely
do not watch this if you're a kid, unless you're like 11 or 12 or older. Do not watch this. They do make mention multiple times of somebody being fictional, and kids need to see that.
Kids are fine. I don't, no children.
11 to 12.
But you're right. You're right. My fault.
You got to be safe about that, especially when it comes to Christmas movies. So I'm not ruining anybody's Christmas.
But they don't bring up that he's not real. They just say,
yes, they do. They say it quite a bit. Here's now you're saying it. I really hope there's no parents letting their kids watch this shit right now. I really hope my kid's not watching this because Paul decided to just give up the thing I said I don't want to give up on the show. Not thrilled about that. Secondly, let's move on to our next one. Thanks for watching. God damn, no more Christmas movies. We're not reviewing a Christmas movie ever again. We cannot ruin it for people.
Yes. That's why it's good. At least we're pre-recorded. So you could cut me all the way the fuck out. Thank God.
I don't cut. I leave it in. Go back to 2 episodes. And our 5-second pause is still in there because I was tired. All right, let's go on to this one. Moana 2. The long-awaited Moana 2, which nobody cares about. But it still did great because, of course, it's Moana 2. I'll spoil this one for you.
Do it.
It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Of course, they lost Lin-Manuel Miranda. The music wasn't that good. Of course, the voices are nice. They're and the animation's gorgeous. But the story and just the new characters and everything, it just all felt like very like one-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't really latch on to anybody, and like there was a lot of heart in that original story, and this one kind of went everywhere.
Yeah.
With no Maui.
Yeah.
Like Maui took a big you can look at the poster and see Maui there. He'll get there. You'll see him.
Yeah.
But if you're expecting the wild romp of and adventures of Maui and Moana, expect Moana and new crew.
Yeah.
The boat in this poster isn't even the right size. So the story of this one is Moana is realizing that if they don't expand and go out and meet other I don't want to say communities, but other not cultures either, I guess really. It's just sort of other islanders, like other just spanning out and getting out and meeting new people. So let's just call it that. Building community. So she has to go out. She realizes she needs a bigger crew. She brings a bunch of people with her. One old dude, a young lady who is really good at fixing. She's an engineer on this island for some reason, for boats. 3 years ago, they found the boats. Now we have engineers for boats. And then they have this big dude who's in love with Maui. And he kind of looks like him, too. They have to set out to go and meet people. And then they will find out that Maui was taken by some evil bat god underwater. And they have to help him get free so that way they can stop the big clam thing from... I'm telling you, this is what I can explain the first one, no problem. That's not the problem. This is too much. There's no interesting bad guys. There's no interesting troubles. You don't really care about anything that's happening in this. Maui's not in it. And if I had to make a guess on why Maui's not in it, it's probably because he's too focused on wanting to do Dwayne Johnson was too focused on wanting to do other stuff like Red One and all this other stuff, which I get, but then don't do the movie.
Yeah.
Or wait until you're already making at the same time a live action.
Yeah.
Of the movie we didn't need 3 years ago. We don't need a live action of Moana. We needed a better sequel, and I'm sure the money went away from that to go to, because they're going to have to use the same they're going to have to use the same music for the live action. So that means Lin-Manuel Miranda, whether he's there or not, that was like where his name's going. So the sequel this felt like a straight to video sequel from Disney.
Yeah.
This felt like The Little Mermaid 2.
Yeah.
I'm done talking about it. What you got?
This should have just gone straight to stream. They should have just made a big thing about putting it on Disney Plus and released it on the 23rd of December and called it a day. It was disappointing. I have a friend that's been living in Hawaii now for, I think, 6 years. That Moana 2, everyone loved out there. Like, they flew to another island because they don't have a theater on their island just to see the first one and loved it. And I talked to him and he said, everyone was mad about it. Some people even wrote Disney to be like, hey, we don't get that money back. Like, we had to pay for a cheap flight just to go over to see this because the first one was so good, meant so much to us as a community. What'd you guys do here? It's just like you just kind of cash grabbed, and you cash grabbed a lot from us just because now we did all that. And yeah, there was so much thought and heart that, like you said, that went into that first one that I expected it to build upon for this one, and they didn't.
Nothing. And I'll throw up our ratings on it. You gave it a 1.5. I gave it a 2. Animation got a point because the animation is on point. The animation looks great, and I don't know what else got a point. I'm really trying to think about it. Like, what was so good about this movie? Really, nothing. I'm going to give it 2 just to be nice. But
it's how Christmassy of you.
Yeah, I've got the last one we just ruined childhood, so I'm gonna
it's gonna be cut. You better cut that shit out. Sorry, cut that poop out of there.
I can't. I have to keep it in because now people will watch this part of the show and be like, "What are you talking about?" So I can't. Like, it's a story, man. We're threading the needle. We have to do it. See, I do this.
These are Scrooge now.
If I do this, so when they watch just the clip, they're like, I either got to go watch the whole episode or I got to go watch all the other clips. And then I got to join the Patreon to watch where it started.
Yes. I like it.
For free. You can listen anywhere.
Yeah. It's not around your kids, please. I'm so sorry. My name is Paul, and there's shame.
Listen, there should be. Paul's gonna go to the mall and he's like, "Hey guys, you ever see Terrifier 3?" And everybody's gonna be like, "Wait, what?" He's gonna be like, "I'm gonna tell these kids that he's not real." And they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about? He's right there." And I'd be like, "Art the Clown, he's not real." It's like you're gonna start picking on it, but I'm not gonna mention anymore. So let's move on to the next one, which we've talked about 3 times already.
Which is too much. Oh,
it's not too much.
Bless it.
Listen, here I am.
Yeah,
defying gravity.
Yep.
I'm holding space, baby, for Wicked. I am. I'm holding space for Wicked. It's beautiful. I'm going to use every TikTok phrase that's been said about this movie. I'm going to use on you. First of all, I'm giving my rating right now because we already talked about it a bunch of times. 3.5. You gave it a 2.5. I think this movie was fantastic. I thought the music was fantastic. I thought the character designs and the world building and the production design and art direction and the costumes and the makeup, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Visual effects were great. Her flying through the air was great. Like all of it, just fantastic. That's it. That's all I got. It was a great movie. Why do you hate it so much?
It just wasn't good, and that's all I got. Like, there we go.
It just wasn't good.
It just, oh my god, it's just, I don't like if you have a Broadway play, which this is coming from, you got to build upon it. You got to offer me something that wasn't already offered. So like, I get people are like, oh, I love that they talked about the animals more, and I do respect that, and yeah, they did. But give me something different that they didn't show in the production, because they do mention it. I get it's not a big focus on it because it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be on this one either. I get you did it just to build. I just forgot her name. Thank God. The Wicked Witch.
Elphaba.
Up a little. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna call her who she is. Yeah, I'm allowed to do that. But
No.
anyway, and like just musically, I mean, if you look through the different variations of this already, like the Broadway blows the music out of the water. I don't understand. I argued with my roommate about this all night and day. I was like, they use auto-tune, they use production on this. The other one was like they can do it on set while dancing and stuff, which they didn't do in this one. I'm like, so just the singing alone, you can't say that this one holds a candle to the Broadway production. I think that's disgusting to say to the Broadway actors, because that's part of actual musicals. So that part, I'm like, no, I'm not saying the music is bad. I'm just saying people that are saying this is the same caliber or more is insane. And it is real, because Franco's there. He's the Wizard of Oz. Jeff Goldblum can take a seat in the back. It's fine. Franco, I feel you, my guy.
Wait. So in your mind,
yes,
this is, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I realize it comes off as snobbish, but
that's fine.
It's
in the title. It's in our name.
Not Lionel Barrymore. He wasn't the best wizard.
Oh, well, then he would be the best. Sorry, yeah, obviously. Even that pissed me off. So Wicked at the beginning, you have the lion on all freaking fours instead of standing up with them. Once again, like, don't touch
the book,
the
but it's not
original
based on the movie. It's not based on the movie. It's based on the book, and in the book, he was on all fours.
Oh, don't change it though. If you're gonna show it on screen, you got to keep it on screen like the Wizard of Oz, which he's standing up, man.
No,
like, pay homage.
You got to read the book though, because the book wizard and some things that happen in the. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly fits in. Of course, right. Around it, so I'm not taking it. But there are things that really, and even not reading the book, but at least like looking up. Like everything, because I don't expect everybody to go and read Wizard of Oz, but it is not based on the movie. Like that's why the slippers are silver, because they are in the book. He is, so like they're basing this off of her tale compared to the book, which was already a very activist sort of written piece of work that was a pro farmer, I believe. I'm not 100%. I'd have to do more work on it, but to research it. But I believe it was about the Pro Farmers Association and how they were catching a run of the deal from like the bigwigs.
Yeah.
So, and I think this one sort of doesn't contend on that,
right?
But it adds to a lot more going on, I would say. I don't know. I did enjoy it for what it was, and I'm excited for the sequel. I can understand if you didn't like it, and that's fine. Yeah. I don't know how you keep going.
What my thing? So that scene where what's his pretty face is dancing around, right? Talking about how he's a bad guy, not a bad guy, but like a bad boy. The CGI was awful. I just expect more from Universal. That's my biggest gripe, and that's Universal gripe, because you could clearly see they had his face CGI on a dancer. Like that wasn't him dancing. That whole
in the beginning?
Or no, I guess that's more of the middle, because it's when him and what's her face are dancing around because she's flirting with him to begin with. Ariana Grande. They're dancing in the library scene.
You mean the Fierro?
Yes.
That is his face. Why isn't his face?
I don't know, but you can clearly see that it doesn't match up. His neck is elongated, and it doesn't match his body moving the whole time. That CGI messed me up, and that's a Universal problem. Like I said, I hate on the movie because, no, absolutely not.
Do you know what happens to all these characters? And I'm asking. Get to the second one, you'll understand. I know what you're talking about. I can't. I don't want to spoil anything from the second one.
I just did like that. So if you can't even do your CGI good for me, then no, thank you.
I'm telling you, you're going to see. I'm telling you, you're going to see.
I might see the second one. I might just send Matt to see it just so he tells me it's a 9 out of 10 again. Like you said, this one was.
Listen, I said 3 out of 5.
Which I can respect that.
Yeah, like
I can respect that.
I would put this movie at an 7 or 7.5 or an 8.
I probably would put it at the same had I not been told it was a solid 9, if not a 10 out of 10 by someone I thought I could trust.
I wish we talked beforehand, because I would have said, like, I really like this movie, but I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 film. Because it's an incomplete movie. I think anything that's incomplete is gonna. That's why The Wizard of Oz is a 10 out of 10 fucking movie for me. It's perfect, and that's what I like about this. It doesn't fuck with that.
Yeah.
If anything, it adds lore to what's going on in that movie, but it doesn't change anything. And I do like that they skirt the line, because it is supposed to be based on the books, but they do skirt the line with the movie, and they do that on purpose. So I can appreciate that. All right, we talked about Wicked. Go see it or don't go see it. That is the question. I think you should go see it. Paul thinks maybe wait for it to come out at home, I guess. I think you can see this on the big screen.
I don't think it hurts to see it on big screen. I don't think it did anything amazing.
I think it's better than Gladiator.
If you have good audio at home, then you can watch it at home. For an audio alone, I'd say, see it in theater, because the music is pretty good.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He is definitely not wrong. But we are going to get to Mick's movie pick, our final for the night. Thanks for watching our Wicked review. And it's from 1946. And if you haven't seen with last week's pick, which was Miracle on 34th Street, I'm going with Christmas theme for the next few weeks. And It's a Wonderful Life, one of my absolute favorites. This is one of my first movie dates I took my wife to. And I proposed to her afterwards, and she turned me down.
Oh.
And then she didn't turn me.
Damn.
And then she said yes months later. But yeah, It's a Wonderful Life, one of my favorite all-time movies. I love this movie. I only watch it around Christmas time, but we are going to do a classic film review of it this week. So keep an eye out that. You got to subscribe to the channel, be a part of it, and we'd love to have you. But yeah, thank you for checking us out and coming to hang out with us. You can go down, follow us, on social media. We're not on Facebook anymore, and we're not on Twitter anymore. And really, honestly, it's because it's just too freaking loud. I was like, I need to cut this back. And I'm like, the only reason I'm still on Instagram is because it's pictures. I just post pictures, and I like taking pictures, so I'm down with it. But yeah, so we're not on that, but you can follow us at the Scene Snobs wherever else. We're on Blue Sky, all that other stuff. TikTok, the whole 9 yards. So go follow us there. You can check out our shows. You can check out our quick reviews, other stuff we're doing as well. Paul, what you got going on, man? Talk to us.
Oh, man. So my brother's coming into town in a couple of days, so I'm excited to see him for the next, I think he's in town for 10 days. So it's always fun hanging out with him. So it'll be good family time. My parents just got a new pup, so I'll be playing with that tomorrow after work. Tired as hell. Probably take a nap with the dog. Besides that, Thanksgiving went by without a hitch. I hope everyone else's went good. Keep watching, keep listening, keep loving the magic of movies, even if they're not that good. And apologize to your children to me. I am wrong. I'm an Ebenezer Scrooge, so anything I said regarding Christmas was a lie. I'm a bad person. That's why I get coal for Christmas, you kids. I'm sorry.
He's not a bad person. he made a mistake. And I'm going to tell everybody. Yes, Santa is real, and Santa's going to be coming in less than 24 days. So you need to be good. You need to help your parents. You need to do the right thing, and you get your gifts. And if for some reason, and listen, been there at times, and I'm not even like, if you're an adult or a kid or whatever, and you maybe didn't get anything under the tree this year, keep in mind, you are the present that's going out into the world. So go out there and shine bright. I love you. I appreciate you watching and listening. I know he loves you. He doesn't think you're real, but he loves you. And I just want you all, and I made a joke there, but I do love you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of it. But until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan from Scene Snobs. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that comment, hit that bell, and then hit comment, so that way you know what you think of these movies. Because we know that some of us are wrong. We know that some of us are wrong. It isn't me. I just meant about the Santa Claus thing. And Wicked. So, but I appreciate all you guys watching and listening. Remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves, because that's important. And until next time, we'll have a very special episode with my wife next week, and then next week after that is our Christmas special, and then we'll have our pre-recorded stuff coming out, but we are going to be taking a hiatus. And until then, remember to be kind, stay classy, and take care of yourselves. I'm saying again because that's important, and I'll talk to you soon.